lovelies. I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a good week. I thought I'd hop on today before my 𝕼ℚ𝔼ℚ session, and I wanted to talk about why it's so important for us to be ourselves. And this might sound like a pretty obvious statement, but I wanted to try and explain why this is important in a slightly different way. Because there's been a real theme to my one-to-one sessions recently and my 𝕼ℚ𝔼ℚ sessions where people are coming to me and they're really struggling to be themselves. And what I mean by that is that perhaps they're finding it difficult to show to the outside world who they really are. Maybe they're finding it difficult to be themselves in their role at work or in their relationship. And for these particular people, everything is becoming out of sync. And they're feeling not themselves, obviously, but they're feeling very unsettled. There's a level of anger and a level of frustration that comes with this feeling, and it's really tough. So I wanted to explain today in this short video what it really means to behave as yourself. So we are all born with a frequency within us, our own special, unique frequency pattern. So if you imagine a snowflake, we all know that each snowflake is completely unique, entirely individual. When a water droplet freezes, it creates a pattern in its frozen state as the snowflake, which is entirely unique. There's not another snowflake that is the same as another one. And we are exactly like that. As human beings, although it might sound like an absolutely mind-blowing idea, it's the truth that each one of us is born with a pattern within us, a blueprint, a frequency blueprint. And that blueprint is the pattern for who we are on our insides within. But if we get confused, and if during our life path we start to create a version of ourselves which is not in alignment with our internal frequency blueprint, then as you can imagine, everything moves out of harmony. Everything moves out of alignment. The inside and the outside do not match. And that's when things in our lives start to look a bit skewy. And that's when we start to attract partners, relationships, friends, jobs, homes, all of the usual lifestyle stuff. That's when we start to attract those things that don't feel right for us. Because there's a confusion between how the inside looks and how the outside looks. So, the ideal, my lovelies, is to behave in our everyday lives in the way that feels right for us. Feels right for us. Okay? It might not look the way that perhaps at one point in your life you thought it would look. And I know this myself from personal experience. I know what it feels like to put on a mask and create a version of you that you feel is going to make you happy. But the point about that statement is that you feel is going to make you happy is something that you're trying to achieve. Being your natural, authentic self is not something you need to try to be. It's something that you are. You are in the flow of your natural state. You do the things you enjoy. You spend time with the people that you enjoy. You create the things you enjoy creating, and it's not a challenge. It might seem like you're taking lots of steps forwards which are outside of what you've done before, but the feeling will be of enjoyment rather than of, my goodness me, this is hard work. When we're being ourselves, it shouldn't feel like hard work. It should just feel natural. And what I'm noticing in my clients who are struggling with this idea of being safe, feeling safe to be themselves, is that when they are attempting to be a version of themselves which is not their natural state, there's all kind of side effects. They get tired. They feel confused. There's a sense of, I'm just not in a place where I want to be right now. And that is tough, really tough. So in this little video today, what I wanted to bring to your attention is the idea of taking a moment to think about who you are on the inside, what you love from here. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Don't worry about what other people are enjoying. We're talking about you. What do you love to create? What do you love to spend your time doing? If it's stuff that other people are not doing, it doesn't matter. We're talking about you. So have a think when you get a moment about maybe what you used to do as a child, the things that you were drawn to as a little child, and what were those things, and have you left them behind in some way? Are you now not doing those things anymore because you've got tangled up with life and you've brought into your life all these other things that you thought you wanted? But if you, my darling, right now are sitting in a space where you don't feel right, that something feels a bit off, that something feels a bit skewed, maybe a question to ask yourself is, am I really being my authentic self? Is this what I really feel is the true me? And for me, I can only speak from my place of experience. I only consider myself to be an expert in myself. When I feel into this idea, it really helps me to come back to a centered space of remembering that it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. I don't have to try and be like anyone else because I have my unique vibrational blueprint within me, and I need to stay aligned with that in order to attract into my life all of the things that feel good and right for me. So I'm going to leave that with you this morning, and yeah, maybe if you get a moment today, feel into that idea, look at what you are doing and have brought into your life and ask yourself, is this authentic? Does this suit my needs? Do I feel as though I'm in the right place with the right people doing the right things? And if the answer is no, maybe have a think about what I've said. This is definitely stuff that we can discover in a 𝕬ℎ𝕗 session. This is definitely stuff that we can ask the higher self. If there's confusion, if it becomes overwhelming, if you're like, I don't know, then maybe we can talk about a 𝕬ℎ𝕗 session and get you back into harmony with your true, authentic self. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I'm sending you lots of love as always.